Hi, this is Joan, and I know I haven't said anything about the elections except that, I believe in the Lord's Prayer. I believe that a lot of people say that prayer, at least my generation, excuse me, said it a lot and didn't realize that what you're doing is praying for a kingdom. And then when you add that to Daniel saying that, in the vision, a big rock is going to knock down all the other kingdoms. So to me, voting is like, getting a reservation on the Titanic when you can see full well it's sinking. But, to each his own. And that's about all I want to say about that. What you're looking at is a scene from the movie Antebellum. Now, I had wanted to see this movie for the longest, but it was $20 to rent it for 2 days. And I thought, well, apparently they don't want people to watch this movie. But it's finally gone down. And I can't remember if I rented it or bought it. But in any case, it's a lot cheaper than it was. And, I liked it okay. There were parts of it I liked. Parts of it I thought were kind of boring. Well, actually, until she went back into slavery, I did think it was a little boring. And Gabrielle, I'm sorry, I can't remember her last name. But, I had read that someone said that they thought her performance was a little over the top. And I don't think her performance was over the top. I think that it was, how do I put it? I thought that she performed the script very well, but that the person she was portraying was over the top. And probably wasn't really gonna ever happen. The thing she said to the white guy in the bar, I thought, that's not believable. But in any case, the reason why I'm doing this video is to give you a break from all the election news and all this other stuff, and to go back to something that still fascinates me, and I hope it fascinates some of you too, and that is astrology. Now, you might have what in the world does this have to do with the movie Antebellum? Well, the major character, Veronica, is one of my favorite signs and the signs I find most fascinating, Gemini. So, I was watching the movie and I had seen something else when some song Janelle Monáe made, and I looked her up and I could swear it said Gemini. But now, as you can see, it's saying that she is a Sagittarius. Now, I myself do believe that just like this movie Antebellum was about, it gave you a hint of something being about different worlds, converging or time travel. I think, now before I would have said, that is just stupid fiction stuff, whatever. But now I tend to think that the closer a society gets to its end, the more its technology can allow it to go places that you really don't want regular human beings to go. But in any case, it really threw me when I looked at this. And the same thing happened with Tommy from Martin. Now, when I first looked him up, when he passed, it said that he was, I think, a Virgo. Then I looked it up again and said he was a Gemini. I really do think that they are changing people's birth dates, but I can't prove it, and I'm a human being. I could be wrong. But in any case, her sun's sign is, according to this, it is Sagittarius, the opposite of Gemini. Now, this is Astro Theme, and you can see it up here, astrotheme.com, and I looked up astrology, Janelle Monáe, and even if she is a Sagittarius, she's got some strong placements in Gemini. She's got, and in this case, her sun and her moon are opposing. But I think that's a close enough correspondence for that. But in any case, her moon is Gemini, so her emotional nature is like a Gemini. And her midheaven is Gemini, so she is her career. Looking at her from her highest point of her career, she's going to seem like a Gemini. So maybe that's why I picked up the Gemini vibe. Because to me, also, Geminis, especially Gemini risings, tend to have a doll-like look to them. And I think that is something that she has. I think she looks a little like a doll. And the same with Lupita Nyong'o. Please forgive me for messing names up. Used to always get so upset with people messing up my name, but so I truly don't like doing it to other people. But in any case, the thing about the movie was that it required somebody who was able to think really, really fast and to outsmart a lot of people. Now, what I want to look at was also Lupita, because she is a Libra. And I just checked that yesterday. If something is different, I know something's wrong. And I had said before that Geminis like to trick people. So I'm not trying to pick on Geminis. I tend to like Geminis. I'm a little afraid of them, but I do like them. The thing is, with the difference between a Gemini and a Libra is that Libra, they both want to trick you, and they're both good at tricking you. The thing is, Gemini wants you to know you've been tricked. Gemini wants to, if you didn't know it was them who did whatever it is they did to you, they will probably write you a letter, call you, put it somewhere where you can figure it out that they are the ones who did it to you. Libra, on the other hand, does not ever want you to know. Libra wants you to walk away thinking that they are the kindest, sweetest, purest person walking, and they will do all they can to present themselves in that way to a certain extent. But they also want to trick you. Now, that's two of the air signs. The last air sign is Aquarius, and as I said before, I'm an Aquarius. I don't have a conscious desire to trick people. I have read that a lot of revolutionaries are Aquarians. Aquarius doesn't really want to, they keep saying Aquarius is rebellious. I don't generally want to rebel unless I think that you're cruel or mean or something. Then, yeah, I might want to rebel, but generally, nah. But, you can't, it's hard to see yourself in the mirror sometimes. And right now, I wanted to look at the difference between, and the similarities between Gemini and Libra. Now, generally, I don't give spoilers, but this time I probably will. And I do hope that you watch the movie. And I will try to not give away the last spoiler, which I did find surprising. So, in any case, everything to me is kind of a character study, including this movie, and that's why I like astrology, because it tells you that there is order in this universe, that people are not just randomly just running around here acting different ways. There is a pattern to everything. So, this is Fandango, and this is what it says about the movie. Successful author Veronica Henley, Janelle Monáe, is finishing a book tour before she returns home to her husband and daughter. But a shocking turn of events is about to upend Veronica's existence, plunging her into a horrifying reality that forces her to confront her past, present, and future before it's too late. From visionary filmmakers Gerard Bush and Christopher Bush and Renz, and the producer of Get Out and Us, comes this tense and provocative thriller with a terrifying twist. It was terrifying, because when you looked at it as an African American, you knew that these things really did happen to real people. This is not just a movie. This is a retelling of your past. It's kind of like digging, it's like, archaeology? It's like digging up, or anthropology, digging up your ancestors and seeing exactly what happened to them. Now, the thing is, when you're looking at this, it kind of makes you question what kind of person you are. Would you be able to live under those conditions? And really, when you look at any slave film, you are kind of thinking that, what would I have done? Would I have tried to run away? Would I have tried to fight? Would I have tried to, would I have been a bedwench? What would I have done to survive? And I'm not saying anything good or bad about any of them. People make decisions. They do what they do based on the information they have and based upon who they are. So, in this particular movie, Janelle Monáe didn't have a choice. as to, well, probably a lot in slavery. She did have to have relations with one of the soldiers, but that kind of intimacy tends to make a person put down their guard, and that is what she used to escape. Now, I wish I could show you part of it, because I thought that the way she got out was totally ingenious, and definitely the work of somebody who has Gemini on their side. I really cannot stress enough that I do think Geminis are extremely smart and quick to think things out. Now, what she did, and I'm not going to give you a spoiler, because I really want you to see the film for yourself. But what she did require some planning. She did do some planning, and she used everything she had, her physicality, to assist her. And it was kind of, I don't know, she doesn't have any Scorpio in her chart that I can see, but it did look a lot like revenge. Like she revenged or avenged all the wrongs that had been done to the other people on that plantation. But the Gemini traits were all there. The quick thinking, the ability to use resources right then and there, and the ability to look like you're thinking one thing when maybe you're thinking something totally different, or maybe you're thinking them both at the same time. That is a gift that they have that the rest of us generally don't. So, do not think I'm picking on Gemini. I'm not. I tend to think that, shoot, you all are smart. Like I said, most books will tell you, well, let me say that there is a dichotomy, I think, in every sign. That is, if you want to say, yeah, if you read most books, it'll say Aquarius is the smartest. But I think along with being the smartest, you're also the dumbest. Because I think that it's like if you're going to buy a car. Now, one car is not going to have every wonderful feature. If it is the fastest, well, then it's going to do something else. Like, I don't know. It's going to be lighter. It's not going to be a heavier one. And it's not going to be a car that, like a van. It's not going to be big. If it's big, it's not going to be that fast. And it's going to use up a lot of gas. If it doesn't use up a lot of gas, then it's probably going to be smaller and have less horsepower. Well, so I think it's the same with every particular person on earth, and when you categorize them, every group of people. So if you've got a Gemini, you've got somebody who's fast thinking, but also can be rather superficial. If you've got an Aquarius, you've got somebody who might delve deeply, but will be aloof. And part of the reason why they're aloof, I know from personal experiences, I might be thinking about something that has absolutely nothing to do with the people I'm in the room with or what is going on around me. But for whatever reason, I am thinking really, really hard about, if there is life on Mars, do they eat cheese? I don't know, just something totally has nothing to do with anything. And then somebody will walk up and tell me a joke, and I'll just look at them. Because I have to stop thinking about what I was thinking about and then figure out, who is this person? Why are they talking to me? And what are they talking about? Now that is an exaggeration, but a lot of times that has gotten me in trouble with men, because I'll be thinking about something and they'll walk up and tell me a joke or do something, and I have to stop and think, what? But in any case, that is to kind of show the point that when you have that every sign is itself and kind of its opposite. That is, Gemini is very quick-witted. Its opposite is Sagittarius. So the thing with Sagittarius is they also are spontaneous. The two share that. But Sagittarius will go in deeper into things and is a bit of a braggart. They want you to know right up in the beginning how wonderful they are. Gemini is probably not going to brag. Gemini is just going to, and that's pretty much like a friend of mine was telling me about Bugs Bunny. He doesn't generally bother anybody who doesn't bother him. Well, it's the same with Gemini. Generally, unless you have something they want or you're in their way, they probably aren't going to bother you. They might talk about you. They talk about everybody. But they probably aren't going to try to get you or anything like that. Well, the same with Aquarius. Like I said, for some reason, I have noticed, it seems to me that Leo men are like kryptonite for Aquarius women. I don't know what it is about them, but they walk up and they seem all innocent and a little bit on the like goofy side, and you just feel your guard goes down, and then you realize this person is telling me what to do all the time. But when telling me not what to do, they're telling me what they want. But they don't want to do anything I want. So, I see that coupling a lot, and I see it breaking up a lot. But along with Aquarius being considered the smartest, socially sometimes Aquarius can be the least smart, because it's that thinking really hard about something that other people are not thinking about, that you might not notice was sitting right there in front of you. And I think that's for pretty much every sign. So what she does in the end, I think, and I do think that there are some similarities between Gemini and Scorpio. They both can be kind of on the dark side. It's just that you don't really see it with Gemini, and with Scorpio, they want. Okay, this is the Us movie. Now, the Us movie. Okay, now before I go in on the Us movie, I wanted to say that this is the only spoiler I'll give on the other movie, Antebellum, and that is that she used a device associated with Gemini and communication, a cell phone, to escape. That was the whole thing that was the whole thing centered on a cell phone, which is a very Gemini device. Now you're looking at Lupita Nyong'o, and she is one of the few dark-skinned black women that Hollywood allows to be called beautiful. Generally, you might look at we have had all kinds of black women go to Hollywood or wherever and make movies, and they would basically come right out and say that this person is not attractive, or they would make them the second banana, or actually they usually would just make them hookers. So this is a nice change. But the thing about this movie that I was trying to figure is, why did they cast a Libra? And I think the reason why I was having problems with trying to figure that one out is because instead of looking at what I've seen in real life with what goes on with them, I was trying to just look at what the book says Libra is. Now, Libra is has a natural grace, and they also instinctively know how to look good on camera. They just do. They don't have to think about it or try hard. They just do, because they're natural beauty seekers. And I'm sorry this screen keeps messing up, but bear with me. So I thought to myself, why would they cast a Libra? Because I do believe that whether you believe in astrology or think it's a bunch of bunk, when they are casting people, they are not just looking at talent, because there are all kinds of talented people walking around. They really are looking at their zodiac signs too. Well, the thing about the Us movie is that this is a person who, and I hope that you've already seen the movie because this might be a spoiler, but this is a person who can do something. Like I said in the last video I did on Libra, I've never met a Libra who wasn't into some sort of mildly or blatantly illegal activity. It's not because they need the money. They just seem to enjoy it. but they enjoy looking innocent. They enjoy just getting away with things. And unlike Gemini, they unlike Gemini, they don't ever want to be, they don't ever want you to figure it out. They don't ever want you to know that they would do some of the things that they do. So, if you've seen the Us movie, you know that up until the very end, you have no idea who you're really looking at and what this person is really capable of doing, or how long they're capable of holding on to a certain mask. They even showed you in the cover of this, sometimes they will show a woman with a mask on. And I think that is one of the major differences you'll find between Libra and Gemini, is that Gemini, like I said, once they are done with whatever they do, they want you to know. They want you to know, I outsmarted you, period. I'm the one. I did it. Libra is like, I don't know what you're talking about. I would never do such a thing. That's a horrible thing to even think about. That's your air signs. Now your third air sign, Aquarius, who has been described as the most air of the air signs. Generally, I don't see duplicity in Aquarius. Aquarius, according to the sunny side, is more likely to just say screw this and blow something up. Now, I have never blown anything up, so I don't know. But in any case, like I said, I was watching this movie, and sometimes I do get fascinated with something and will just look at it over and over and over. And I kept thinking, why a Libra? I mean, why? Besides, yes, she's very, very pretty. So is Janelle Monáe. So are a whole lot of other people. But why did you? Because I know there's a pattern here. Like, there's a reason they picked Winston Duke for this film, and I cannot figure out what that reason is. I thought he was so sexy in the Black Panther. And in this, he's kind of a goofball. And I don't quite know why they picked a Scorpio to put in kind of a dorky position. But this film is a fascinating study in and of itself. And I went in a little, but I never go in as deep as I want to. It's kind of like I just can't get the words out the way I want to get them out exactly. But even with Winston Duke, like I said, there's a reason why they picked a Scorpio to play, one of the most frightening signs. They picked to play kind of a goofball. He's a fighter when he has to be. But, still haven't figured that one out. So if any of you have any ideas, let me know. But I think all through this film, they're telling you that this girl and her father, Winston Duke, are one type of people. And the mother here, Lupita, and this little boy are another type of people. They're showing it to you through colors, the colors that they're wearing and things, So I think this movie, as I said before, I think it's telling you about basically the Antichrist and how this person is going to be someone who can, fly under the radar, who can really not appear to be what they are. And this film, I think, is also about materialism. Now, that is one thing I caught on with Winston Duke, that he's a Howard sweatshirt at some point. And he's trying very, very hard to measure up with his white friend who's an Aquarius. Now, I think that showing that he's wearing a Howard University shirt is showing that he's probably either boule or aspiring boule. And again, like I said before, you have the really bad marriage between the Aquarius and the Leo. And you have Winston Duke trying hard to measure up to the Aquarius, who really does seem to be kind of not paying a lot of attention. It's kind of like he's like, yeah, I see you're there. You admire me. That's real nice. You don't know me as well as you think you do. but that's cool. I'll play along with you, but I'm not trying to hurt or help you. I'm just kind of here. So yeah, that's kind of what I got out of this astrologically. And like I said, I just wanted to show the contrast between Gemini and Libra and to go beyond the books, because the books only tell you the good things. Now, a lot of times bad things are simply good things that have just been carried too far, or maybe a trait is a good trait in a certain situation, but not a good trait in another situation. But, all of us down here are flawed. We're all doing dumb things at some point or other. So, I think that this was a bit of a ramble, and I hope you can hear it. And I hope that if you are interested in marrying or dating any particular zodiac sign, one thing I read years ago that I think really makes a lot of sense, and that is look up actors with that sun, moon, or ascendant and see if you can stand them. Stand or watch their movies for a while. If you can, then you can probably stand that person. If looking at that person, let's say you like Scorpio men, and let's say you find 5 Scorpio actors and you decide to watch a few of their films, and you find out that you like 4 out of 5 of these actors, but one of them irritates you to no end. I'd say you got a pretty good chance. You got a 1 out of 5 chance that, you'll get along with one. But if you like all of them, the chances increase. If you couldn't stand to watch any of them, well, you might want to look for another sign. Now, another thing I noticed is his shirt says fragile. Why are you calling the Aquarius fragile? And, he's not exactly whipped, but he does seem to kind of understand that his wife's affections are, I don't know, not totally there. And he seems to be kind of accepting of it. That is also an Aquarius trait. Well, in any case, I don't plan on, I'll always say something about astrology because I do believe it's kind of the framework. And as I've said before, there's a difference between knowing something and practicing it. So, you guys keep looking around the world, and how could you possibly be bored? Thanks for watching, and so long. Oh, and back to Antebellum. Yes, they had to include some colorism. So, you have a slave played by Kiersey Clemens, and I apologize for the parts where the screen is gone dark. It wasn't dark when I was recording it, but I was recording from the movie, and apparently they have made it some sort of way that even if you turn the sound down, you still can't record it. So I apologize for that. Anyway, and back to Antebellum, they did have one actress, Kiersey Clemens, and of course she was considered the beauty of the movie. So you have to remember, well, let me say it like this. When Destiny's Child, that's how long ago this was, when Beyonce was part of Destiny's Child, someone made a complaint that the father, who was the manager, was giving more attention to his daughter. And a friend of mine, says sarcastically, "Oh, really? I mean, that's so surprising." Well, in a way, to me, it's the same thing here. You have this cast here, and who do they pick out as far as like one of the actresses? It might have been, I don't know, the plantation wife. I'm not sure which one that was. That might be her. But anyway, she looks at Kiersey and says, "Oh, she's a beauty." Okay, in pretty much any movie where they have a light-skinned black woman or a mixed black woman, they're going to tell you she's beautiful. Period. It's like they have to. It is a form of mind control so that you will never appreciate your own looks. Think about it. It really does fuel the cosmetics industry. It it keeps the Black community from keeping money within themselves, because instead of appreciating your own brown skin, you're going to go searching for someone else's pink or beige. But, that's just an aside, and also an encouragement to women who are not mixed Black, who are all the way Black or Hebrew or whatever you are, that things are all happening for a reason, and it's not a reflection of you. Your beauty is not less than anyone else's beauty. It is simply yours. So again, and this time, it's so many things I would like to add as an aside. But, in any case, you guys have a wonderful day.